In today's video, I'm going to show you how I make and sell cutting board butter. Before we get started, it might be helpful to answer the question, what is cutting board butter? Basically, it's a conditioner that I apply to all the cutting boards and charcuterie boards that I sell after I've put on the initial coats of finish. So for example, if you've seen one of my other cutting board videos, I put on like a food safe polyurethane type finish. Once that cures, I'm gonna wipe on this cutting board butter, which of course is also food safe, to give it that great final touch and feel. You can also use cutting board butter on cutting boards that you've been using for years. It'll help revitalize those cutting boards. So you can sell these to your clients even if they've already bought one of your cutting boards years ago. It's a great product to have if you want to get some repeat purchases. Enough talking, let's make this cutting board butter. I have all of the ingredients for our cutting board butter set out on our workstation. Now, by the way, all of the supplies and ingredients are going to be linked down in the description of this video. So if you want to make your own cutting board butter, you can literally just go down there and order everything in your Amazon cart and it'll be at your house 2 days later. So this is exactly what you need to make this recipe of cutting board butter. I have our wax melter here. You can use a crock pot for this, but I really find that this wax melter is a lot easier because you have this pouring spout down at the bottom, which makes putting this in the tins much easier. We have our beeswax right here. If you get it in pellets like this, it will melt a little bit faster inside your wax melter. And then we have mineral oil. These are 16-ounce containers. That'll be important. I'll explain that in a second. Also, we have these little 4-ounce tins. These are the size that I like to sell my cutting board butter in. It's just a really good size that sells very well. The key ratio that you want to remember is 4 parts of mineral oil to 1 part of beeswax. Since these containers are 16 ounces and then this is 1 pound or 16 ounces of beeswax, we can just throw all of this into the the wax melter to make this cutting board butter. What I think works best is to pour in your mineral oil first into your crock pot or wax melter. After that, I like to let it sit for a while and get warmed up before I add the beeswax. This will just help the wax melt more quickly. Make sure you stir up the beeswax and mineral oil very well before you begin to dispense it into the containers. You basically want to give time for the can to completely cool off, and this way the wax will take its final form, which will be a super easy to apply, warm butter type texture. While this cutting board butter is curing, let's do a little math to see if it would be worth it to sell these, if it would be profitable. All of the supplies, the tins, the stickers, the mineral oil, and the beeswax, I spent $92 on. Now, I'm already taking into account that I had the wax melter because you can just use that over and over again to batch out this cutting board butter. That $92 gave me 31 4-ounce tins of cutting board butter. So 92 divided by 31 comes out to approximately $2.96. That is my cost per tin. If you want, you can add in a little bit of labor time, although this took me probably 30 minutes total to melt down the mineral oil, the wax. I just kind of leave it in the wax melter, go do some other stuff, come back, pour it up, and then let it cure. Besides that, I'm pretty much putting stickers on these things and then shipping them out or selling them at craft shows. So there is very little time that I've devoted into the labor of this. On Etsy, I'm going to sell these for about $10 per tin. That's also a great price point if you're at craft shows, which puts your margins right around $7 profit per tin that you sell. So I think this is a great product that you can sell on an Etsy shop, or if you go to a craft show. This is worth your while. And I also just keep a few tins in the shop, so whenever I sell a cutting board, I go ahead and apply 1 coat of cutting board butter on the board for my client. Let me know in the comments if you decide to make this cutting board butter, and if you decide to sell it, and how you're going to sell it. I would love to hear from you. If you don't want to go to all the trouble of batching out a ton of this cutting board butter, maybe you just want 1 tin, I'll leave a link to my Etsy shop down in the description of this video, and you can just pick up a tin from my Etsy shop if you'd rather do that. And I would really appreciate it. Back in my office, I am putting some stickers that I got from Sticker Mule on these tins. If you're trying to sell these, I would highly recommend including stickers, and I'll leave a link to Sticker Mule, which is where I got these stickers from. And if you use the link down in the description, you can save $10 on your purchase of stickers from Sticker Mule. Huge fan of Sticker Mule. They also have a really cool design suite that you can use if you're like me and not a very good graphic designer. There's plenty of templates that you can pull from, so you can make a really fun label for your cutting board butter. Hey, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked this video, I promise you will like one of these 2 videos. So check one of these out, and I'll see you there.